Tēnā koutou, kia ora te whānau, good evening and welcome to Q&A, the home of politics. I'm Jack Tame. Tonight, Trade Minister David Parker, back home from China's Belt and Road Forum in Beijing.
贸易畅通，资金融通。
President Xi's ambitious but rather ambiguous global infrastructure plan has drawn some criticism, not least for the amount of debt some poorer countries have taken on. So why does David Parker think it's an opportunity for us? Nationals finance spokesperson Amy Adams is also here tonight talking trade and tax. And then Nigel Hampton QC, the lawyer representing some of the Pike River families. Their long wait is nearly over. The re-entry will happen on Friday. So what evidence do police and prosecutors need to bring about justice?
If I were a gambling man, the probabilities, I would say, were in favour of finding some evidence that would show causation.
And Fenna Owen meets the Vatican's chief astronomer. Can you be a man of God and a man of science? What the starry heavens have taught him about faith.
My faith tells me that the universe makes sense. It's not just random chaos.
But we start tonight with matters of a more earthly nature, namely our $30 billion trade partnership with China. Trade Minister David Parker has just returned from the Belt and Road Forum in Beijing, where the Chinese president looked to quell fears that his signature infrastructure plan will lock countries into repressive debt cycles. The Aussies and the Americans have voiced concerns over the plan, but New Zealand sees opportunity. Trade Minister David Parker, kia ora, welcome to Q&A.
Thank you.
There has been a lot of confusion and ambiguity as to what the Belt and Road actually is. Can you tell us, how do you define this plan?
Well, I think it's becoming a bit clearer that it's a lot broader initiative as it unfolds from the Chinese government than just infrastructure. It started out very mobile devices and other parts of telecommunication equipment.
Stay with us. We will ask how far New Zealand First wants to go in restricting foreign ownership in Aotearoa. Nationals finance spokesperson Amy Adams is coming up. And then, what do we need to find in the Pike River mine for the police to push charges? Nigel Hampton QC joins me. And later, a beautiful story from Fenna Owen. She's been visiting Mount John Observatory in Tekapō with the Vatican's chief astronomer.
The fact that this is beautiful is a taste of God. The fact that it's logical is a taste of God.
Kia ora, welcome back to Q&A. I'm here with Trade Minister David Parker. I want to bring up a point you made before the break with a quote here from the Chinese Daily. This was a quote referenced just after Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's visit to Beijing. President Xi Jinping called on New Zealand to provide a fair and unbiased business environment for Chinese investors. That could be interpreted, at the very least, as a thinly veiled warning about protectionist trade policies. How do you marry that kind of message with the wants and needs of your coalition partner?
Well, pretty easily, actually. System fairer and to encourage productive investment rather than speculation.
David Parker, thanks for being on Q&A.
Thanks.
Right, here is Jenny with what's coming up on Tonight this evening.
Thanks, Jack. Tonight, a horrific crash makes this month the deadliest in a decade. Those who knew the 8 killed pay tribute. Hospital delays as junior doctors walk off the job for 5 days. As the temperature drops, the electricity bill goes up. But do solar panels really save you in the long run? Plus, a Hulk smash. The Avengers Endgame breaks box office records. Will it be the highest grossing film ever? Join us for all that and tomorrow's weather at 10:30.
Ngā mihi kia koe. Thanks, Jenny. Send us your thoughts. We would be delighted to hear from you. You can find us on Twitter at NZQ&A, and you can email us at qa@tvnz.co.nz. Nationals' Amy Adams is up next, and then later, with the Pike River mine re-entry only days away, what's the chance new evidence could lead to prosecutions?
I think that it would have improved the signal towards productive investment rather than speculation, and it would have brought some fairness into the tax system. There's different ways you can approach it.
That is Trade Minister David Parker talking about the government's decision not to pursue a capital gains tax. No mai haere mai ki Q&A. Welcome back. Listening to that interview with Minister David Parker was Nationals finance spokesperson Amy Adams. Good evening. Welcome to Q&A.
Thank you.
In lieu of a capital gains tax, what do you anticipate the coalition government will seek in making changes to tax law?
Well, they're being pretty opaque so far. I think what's clear, though, is that they're making a whole lot of spending promises. At the same time, they're overseeing an economy slowing down, and they're going to have trouble squaring that circle. So, for I believe, Simon has the support of our caucus.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you being on Q&A.
You're welcome.
That is National Finance spokesperson Amy Adams. After the break, Friday's the day many Pike River families have been waiting for. A team will venture deep into the mine for the first time since 29 men were killed nearly 9 years ago. Could it mean someone finally faces criminal charges? That question answered next. Kia ora koutou, welcome back. The lawyer representing some of the Pike River families will meet with police in Wellington this week to discuss what kind of criminal charges could be laid if investigators find new evidence in the mine. On Friday, specially trained representatives from the Pike River Mine Recovery Agency will enter the drift for the first time since the explosion that killed 29 men. I spoke with QC Nigel Hampton a short while ago.
On Wednesday, it will be running over the protocols and procedures that are going to...
We will see criminal charges.
Well, it's a step at a time, really, Jack, and I wouldn't put odds on it.
Yeah, some interesting comments there from Nigel Hampton QC, the lawyer for the Pike River families. We did approach Peter Whittle, the former CEO of the Pike River mine, to comment on the mine re-entry and the chance of criminal charges. Peter Whittle is now running a rest home south of Sydney. You can see him there on the right. But at this point, we have not had a response. We will take some of your feedback after the break. Then ask the Vatican astronomer how it's possible to believe in both science and God. No mai, haere mai, ki Q&A. Welcome back. Let's consider some of your feedback. Thank you for your texts, your tweets and communications. Anton Napier on the Belton Road posted on Facebook. Basically, there's nothing in it for us, Anton says. Taxpayers' money hard at work. And this tweet, Amy Adams says we shouldn't trust the government on tax. Didn't National promise in 2008 not to raise GST? And then they did. Tim Pate also tweeted to say, so Amy Adams wants to tax Kiwis less. I'm sure the young doctors on strike and teachers wanting more pay will be pleased to hear that. Thanks again. Finally tonight, the director of the Vatican's observatory, yes, the Vatican has an observatory, is touring Aotearoa. Brother Guy Consolmagno is here to spread a very simple message that science and faith belong together. He visited Mount John Observatory above Tekapo, where Fena Owen joined him to take in the southern stars. He rangi tino a tāhua. What a beautiful sky. I tell you what, between capital gains, multilateral trade agreements and the defining existential question for our species, Q&A is doing nothing if not asking the big questions. That is us for this evening. Tonight is up next. Thank you for watching and thank you for your contributions. You can, of course, find us on Facebook simply by searching NZ Q&A, and don't forget to subscribe to the Q&A podcast. Those are the questions and those were the answers. That's Q&A. Hey, Aotearoa Wiki. We will see you next Monday evening at 9:30. Have a good week. Q&A is made with the support of New Zealand On Air.